Good morning. Right now, a massive fire still burning at a Knoxville recycling plant with crews fighting back flames overnight. Why it could be days before it's completely put out, and what you need to know if you're headed out or towards this area today.
And new this morning, mandatory evacuations are over for folks living in North Knoxville. But coming up, more details on how you can get voluntary help and support if you and your family would like to get out of the path of this fire.
And we've had a couple of rain showers move on through East Tennessee. A little bit of fog out west and mild temperatures. It's a live look on Alcoa Highway. Current temperature 66. It's going to be another hot and muggy day with highs back into the 80s and a chance of storms.
10 News is brought to you in high definition exclusively by Harper Auto Square. WBIR 10 News starts now.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us for our special coverage of the Knoxville fire. The Fort Loudon Waste and Recycling Plant is just behind us, about 2 blocks away, and that fire is still burning at this hour.
And the mobile command center behind us as well. Let's take a look from our sky cam. Take a look at this from above on your Thursday morning. Overnight, the smoke from the fire dwindled significantly. KFD says they were able to cut it in half. They say the fire is contained, but that does not mean that it's under control. It could still take days to burn. Now, voluntary evacuations are still in place for nearly 100 homes in a 13-block area. Good news is no one was hurt.
This recycling plant is on Hancock Street. It started burning around 1 o'clock yesterday, and because of the materials involved here, wood, fire, and plastic, it's staying on fire, as Russell said, for potentially several days. The fire department says this was most likely caused by a forklift that backfired. People heard those explosions and started running, and they saw the plume of smoke behind them and all the fire, and they said it was like running from a tornado, which is really a terrifying thought if you think about it. And Russ, you mentioned to me just a second ago that we haven't really smelled much in the air. It hasn't been like
where we are, yeah.
It hasn't been a very strong smoky smell, but right now there is a chemical odor to the air, and DJ said that is pretty typical when the flames start to calm down, that those chemicals start to burn, and since the flames aren't shooting the scent up into the air, it kind of lingers around the ground.
Yeah, and I'm sure the difference in wind has something to do with that as well. Knox County schools will be open today, including Christenberry Elementary School, which is the closest school to this fire. All right, let's go to meteorologist Mike Witcher for a check of that forecast. Good morning to you, Mike.
Yeah, good morning to you guys. Had a couple of showers earlier this morning, one to the north of the fire, one to the south into central Knox County. Those have since moved their way on out and faded away, but did create a little bit of a gustier wind earlier this morning. Now, a couple of showers out there from Monroe County pushing into Blount County, but those have since died down as well. So for the most part, we do have just a little bit of fog developing across town. Just spoke with my wife, who is traveling westbound on Interstate 40 toward Roane County, and said the fog is fairly thick there. So we'll talk to Ed Rupp about that here in a second. 66 degrees as you step outside this morning. Temperatures are trending about the same as they were yesterday, but for the morning rush hour, partly cloudy skies, 64 by 7, 71 by 9 o'clock this morning. Let's go and talk to Ed Rupp and check those roads and see how those TDOT SmartWay cameras are all playing out this morning. Ed, so the wife said that there's a little bit of fog heading into Roane County this morning.
Yeah, patches here and there, but nothing causing any problems up to this point. Alcoa Highway traffic coming in over the Buck Carnes Bridge there. You can see pretty good driving conditions all the way into downtown up past the hospital. Good shape on Interstate 40. Light traffic up to this point coming in on 40 eastbound and westbound over on the west side of town. And as Mike mentioned here, a patch of fog now and then. We will keep you updated in the 10 News Traffic Center. Guys?
All right, Ed Rupp, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
And we do have road closures here in this immediate area where this fire has taken place. Those are up on your screen for you, so take a quick peek if you're in this area driving around this morning or later today.
We mentioned that mandatory evacuations have been lifted. Now it's just up to the person to decide if they want to evacuate their home. Yvonne Thomas has been covering that angle for us this morning. Good morning, Yvonne.
Abby Russell, good morning. And that is some new news this morning that we can share with you live here on the scene. Now, many of these folks here in North Knoxville have had a pretty strange past couple of hours. Yesterday, many of them were being asked to leave their homes. And today we have just learned that they can come back on a voluntary basis. Those mandatory evacuations are over. Now, we're talking about nearly 100 homes yesterday that were affected by this. And that's in this 13-block area from Morelia Avenue to Banks Avenue to Kenyon Street to Atlantic Avenue and then back to Pershing Street. Again, these are only voluntary evacuations now, and KFD says that there is no immediate danger to any of these homes. Now, if you would like to stay out of the path of the fire, there are some options for you and your family. The Emerald Youth Foundation on Central Street has opened its doors to anyone needing a place to stay. Also, the Red Cross is on site to assist, and the Salvation Army has opened its gym as well. Now, neighbors are describing the scene as the recycling plant went up in flames yesterday. A lot of people felt like they had nothing to do but watch. They could only just watch all of this. Many neighbors say the scariest part were the booms, those big explosions that the fire department thinks were propane tanks. And they say it sounded like a bomb went off, and then they had to suddenly leave their homes at that time.
I was being told to get out, and just yelling, "Get out, you have to get out." It's really pretty frightening to look up above the building and see that much smoke, because it's directly next door. I mean, what you can see behind us, imagine being within 50 feet. Yeah, and it's billowing.
And again, many of those families are able to return to their homes if they so choose to. But if you do see heavy smoke, you can head to a safer location if you'd like, or if you cannot leave, some advice from experts. They say shut your windows and doors and turn off your HVAC units. Now, firefighters could be fighting this fire for several days, but they have made a lot of progress. Again, we've been talking about it all morning. There is a fragrance in the air, but as of right now, we can't see so much smoke. It's probably because it is so dark. But of course, we'll continue to keep you updated as we learn more details and throughout the morning. For now, we'll send things back over to you.
It'll be interesting as the sun comes up to see what we can see, and that will happen within the hour, so we'll keep you posted.
Absolutely. Well, we have with us now Knoxville Fire Department Captain DJ Corcoran. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate everything that's going on. What is the very latest on whether or not this fire is contained or if it's under control, and the difference between that?
Well, they ruled it contained at about 5:25 p.m. last night or yesterday. And what that means is just like on a house fire, if you say the fire was contained to a room of origin or something like that, that it's contained, meaning that you still have 10 acres of potential burning, but they've contained it to a smaller area. So they're watching those areas. It's not getting any worse, but it's going to continue to burn, so it's not under control.
Gotcha.
This chemical scent can now be smelled. We're close to the site, about a couple blocks away. You can probably smell it in other parts of North Knoxville. Why can we smell it so strongly right now?
Well, you don't have the heat of the fire that's propelling it up. It's just like after a fire, you know, like a residential fire, you'll see the flames and everything, but you don't smell it until like after you start making some headway, and then you go in and it's just that damp, nasty kind of smell that just sort of lingers. So that's what you're smelling now. That just means that you're not smelling it from the part that's burning, because that's still carrying up and away, but the portion that they put out is just a kind of a lingering smell. Nasty.
And DJ, what are firefighters doing right now? Are they putting water on it, or are they working with
they're continuing
with the ground, or how they doing?
Yeah, they're continuing to spray water. We've got 3 aerials that are in place, and I think I misspoke earlier. I think I said as early. I'm trying to do math in my head, but I think it's about 180,000 gallons of water an hour that they've sprayed overnight. So they're continuing to spray from the aerials. They had some track hose, the city's equipment that they came in. There's one building in there that's about an acre in itself, and I guess that's where some of the equipment that was, you know, shredding the stuff and making it recyclable. That building, they had to knock it down in order to get water to underneath the roof, because otherwise it was sort of like working like an umbrella. You're spraying it from the top and it's just running off. It wasn't getting to where it needed to get.
Firefighters have been working hard. They had a shift change overnight. They're about to have another one. How are they holding up?
Good. I mean, what they're doing, we've got the rehab bus. You'll see KPD's rehab bus and the KFD rehab bus. And about every 45 minutes or so, as they need, they'll cycle through and take them a little break, get some water, rehydrate. We've also got the portable potty here that we've got on place.
It's always nice to have that.
Oh, you gotta
have a potty.
These are things that you don't really think about, and that's their chaplain, and
that's right.
There's a endearing term that we call it. So
Well, DJ, let me ask you this: sometimes things quiet down overnight with fires, and maybe they kick back up during the day. Is that true? And could that happen today?
Yeah, it could. I mean, if the wind picks up, then we're sort of at the wind's mercy. There's one issue that we're working with Norfolk Southern, they've got a train track that just runs between Atlantic and the property here. And we're trying to get some things cleared out so we can open those tracks, because I mean every hour that it sits, I mean they're losing money. So
right.
we're trying to work with them the best we can and trying to clear that area to get them back up and running too.
DJ Corcoran, we appreciate all your hard work, all the firefighters. So thank you so much for being with us this morning. We'll check in with you coming up in just a little bit for another update. Good to see you.
All right, and we have had many of your pictures that you have sent in of shots of this smoke, and you can continue to send those to our Facebook page and our social media accounts. Some debris in other places as well.
All right, we are going to continue to cover this live from the scene right here about 2 blocks away from where this fire started yesterday afternoon at 1. All right, we are going to also talk about the health impact of this fire. The health department says you should move away from the area if you smell smoke, especially if you're in the sensitive category. The EPA says, you know, a child, a pregnant woman, those with heart or lung disease, adults over 65, they are all having to take extra precautions in this smoky air. And you might experience symptoms too, and even if you're not in this category, like burning eyes, a runny nose, cough, trouble breathing. But like we said, if you smell smoke, maybe get out of the area. Turn off your HVAC as well.
Yeah, and if you're driving through it, roll up the windows, turn your air conditioning to recirculate. That way you're not drawing the smoke into the vehicle. All right, meteorologist Rebecca Sweet will talk more about the fire's impact on air quality a little bit later in the show.
We also get all of your information online, WBIR.com. You can look at where the shelters are located, the road closures, everything you need to know this morning right there. You can also watch our show because we'll be on air with special coverage, not only on this show but also on Fox 43.
All right, for other news of the day on this Thursday morning, we head back to the studio. Heather Wallaga standing by with that. Hey, Heather.
Russell and Abby, good morning. We are following several local stories for you this morning. The state health department has now confirmed 5 measles cases in Tennessee. Health officials say this is related to the other cases, and the best way to protect yourself is the vaccine. The controversial voucher bill is now headed to Governor Lee's desk. Under the plan, participating families will get $7,300 in state money to spend on private school tuition. The latest version does not include East Tennessee. It only allows the program in Shelby and Davidson counties. Homeschooling is also no longer covered. In a tweet, Governor Lee tweeted, he says that he looks forward to signing this bill into law. If you're looking for a new home, Dolly Parton's former Nashville home is now for sale. Dolly owned the home from 1980 to 1996. It's 3,200 square feet. It includes a shed with an addition for Dolly's nieces and nephews to play in. A listing price has not been given, but I'm sure it will go fast. The time now is 6:12. Still to come here on 10 News Today. We have the very latest on the fire that continues to burn in North Knoxville. We're going to check in with Abby and Russell for an update on that situation as crews on the ground continue to work those angles for us. We'll also tell you how the forecast could impact crews that are battling this fire and have been for several hours now. We'll be right back.